Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. We're strapping on our seatbelts. And it was very beautiful this morning. Jesus, thank you for bringing together. We had a joining of the Spanish, the beings that are coming together to translate a new covenant. And we were talking about even the name of the book. And it's so beautiful. Everyone just wants to hear what Jesus has to say. It's his book, and you could see it's for everyone. And it was beautiful because he was saying, this is God's law. We want it to convey in Spanish. Is it convenio? Is it pacto? Is it, what's the word? And all I kept hearing, I can still hear him. I'm brushing my teeth. This is God's law. This is a reminder, a new reminder of God's law, that you cannot be apart from him. That's pretty direct. It's like, it's not within our function, no matter how much we would try and protest and wiggle out and like the dog splay ourselves on the grass and go, I'm not whole, I'm not holy, and I'm not complete. And he says, that's not God's law. There's a really, really, really cute scene in Tangled where she's having doubt thoughts, she's quote unquote escaping the evil stepmother. She doesn't know evil, but it's really a symbol of leaving the old ideas behind and looking toward the new. And all of a sudden she's hilariously, you might be able to find it. Maybe we can find that clip. She's just going, like, what am I doing? I'm going to die. Kind of, she's like rolling around in the grass. It's just so perfect for the spiritual journey. But even if we roll in around in the grass, we cannot sidestep God's law of what we are. Scream, yell, ideas coming, I'm not that, hatred, want to kill my brother. God's law remains. So however we convey it, this is what needs to be conveyed, because he's pointing us beyond. It's to point us beyond words. It's not to be dependent on words and that words mean something. And he's going where the ego goes, I give everything I see all the meaning for it. Everything, I give all the meaning. The I gives meaning. And God only has one meaning, light. It doesn't actually have a meaning. It just is. It's beyond the meaning. And the other part of the discussion was really beautiful to talk about the communication in Spanish. This will be fun for Dyra now. Because it's for all of us. You can see it's beyond the words. It's beyond Spanish. It's beyond English. Yet somehow he brings the constellations together of these beings, that have come together. Melissa and Dyra and Carlos now from Spain. Like, oh, how can we even talk about how he put that? And Lena. So we have Mexico and Spain and it just, the God beings, the Jesus voices need to be with Jesus voices. And then it comes together in this devotion and is to see what's beyond the words together. That's all we come together for. What thy will be done, Father. Thy will being that I'm perfect happiness. So thy will is that I recognize perfect happiness. Because I always thought, how people kind of go in the display in consciousness, it'd be, well, okay, God, your will be done. It's like this resignation, your will be done. That's about as dead as it can get. That's the play. Well, okay, God's gonna, I'm just willing to suffer this because it's God's will. thy will be done means supreme happiness is all there is. That's God's will. That's a whole new little shine when it God's will is you are it. So yeah, I'm asking him if it's helpful to talk about, that discussion about awareness and consciousness. So he's going to help with that, because it is valuable in this teaching, and other teachings talk about consciousness and awareness. I mean, in Spanish, conciencia, I probably can't even say it to convey it properly. Conciencia, or it has an S in it extra, but they sound the same. Just Jesus says, just know that they're different. And if you ask me directly, I'll tell you the difference, because that's of great value to distinguish what moves from identity, the unmoving one, the absolute reality of being, beyond the actually being, but there are no words. See, beyond the words. Pure, unborn light. See that the light, we can see it immediately. We can recognize it's here. Then the play of the consciousness starts to go, I'm not that. Nisargadatta, I am that. What is? I am that. And then consciousness is a play to go, I'm not that. And let me show you all the reasons why I'm not that. Let me show you all the reasons why I can defy God's law for perfect happiness. Yeah, he's made this very clear that that's the communication. This is God's law. And what it means to obey God's law. That sounded really terrible. Obey God's law. Well, I'm just going to have to drag myself off to church. No, obey God's law is to be supremely be what you are. That's obeying. God's law is to be identity, infinite light. Period. Yesterday's lesson. I am spirit. Period. That's God's law. This is the law of God. And when, just like yesterday, when we were talking about the word of God, it's like, the light dawns. Oh my God, that's not a word. That's not a word. That's no words. But consciousness is a play of words, so he has to use words to unwind from words. Now, if that's just to wean, like he was telling, you got to wean you off those words, kind of slowly wean us. As Buji would put it, quit sucking on the nipple of the mind, the wrong mind. Like we're feeding off of that. Oh. He has a way, doesn't he? Yes. You gotta love it. Quit feeding the delusion. Like Irene sitting there saying, and Jesus is showing me that truth, what it means to be vigilant. Vigilant for God's law. It's beyond the 2 tablets. We're still at the 2 tablets that came down from Moses, from 2 tablets down, from the mountain. That's just a symbol in the evolution of consciousness to see. Here's 10 ways you can see, to look beyond the idea that you have of yourself, that you're turning against what you are. The burning bush symboling the burning of the untrue. Has to go up in flames. The ego screaming, I'm going to crash. And all you see is light, all that's left, the original, rather than the little decorations, the Christmas decorations, which are really, we think it's really happiness. We're adding all these ideas and concepts to what's already perfect and whole beyond concepts. And not to look for it in the words, not to look for the solution in words. Look what words are pointing to. Consciousness is a play of comparison. I'm going to compare this set of words and see which is true. And the truth is identity. It has nothing to do. It's, it's just getting involved in the moving. Here's the moving, and here's a set of words, and I'm going to move here and move there. And if I shuffle, it's a shell game. You know, one of those little shell games when they put that out? And a magician, and he puts the little pea under one little walnut shell there, and you put it down there, and then it moves it around. So if we move the little word peas around, we'll get something different. But see, notice in magic, it's all about where you focus, right? It just puts your focus on the little P. Where did that P go? That's the P go, which is the ego. Where did that little, it's just following that little P around and making your whole life following a P underneath a shell. And if I just get better at finding which shell the P is under, supremely happy, which defies God's love of supreme happiness being here right now. So, okay, Jesus, we're starting like never seen the book before. That's what he means by throwing the book out. Because every time we take that book, even as absolute, without having the word is the resonance of the heart. The resonance of infinite is the word. And the word cannot be made flesh. That as soon as when the word, that's the attempt in consciousness to be what it's not. To congeal into an object that's acted on. No, it's let there be light, and then that gets ignored, and you have an entire Bible, all of consciousness, and then you have to go to the New Testament and resurrect. For the desired experience of falling asleep, you can ask Jesus, do I desire an experience of falling asleep and pretending like I don't know, and then an experience of waking up to what's always been here, without anything happening? So just pretend like God's law can be violated. And then it's a surprise, like to me, when I'm looking down and going, they usurp the power of God. I had to ask Jesus, because that's how unaware consciousness wants to be of usurping the power of God. It's like we even have to have what he's telling us in this book explained by it's funny. So lesson 98, Jesus, like, okay, go naked to God. I don't know jack about this. I don't want to know anything. Like Muji says, I don't want to know anything, because they'll tell him. You can hear him, the beings say, Guruji, you know everything. He says, I don't want to know anything. That's happiness. Therefore, I am supremely happy. Because there's no investment in thought, that congealing, the jello effect of taking a bunch of thoughts together and pouring it into a mold called the body, Jesus, I love that game. You just ask him, Jesus, do I just relish that game of pouring myself into a mold called the body and saying, that's me. This is me. But then we can laugh about it. It was like, okay, and let's just check in with the light, God's law, and see, is that true? That's all we're doing. It's just, is this true? Is this true? It's all forgivenesses. Is this true? In the light of divine being and honesty of God, even though we want to just kind of lie into a jello mold this week, you know how you have like one of those trays and it has 5 different molds in it, like, one might be a star shape and the other's a moon shape. And so we just like to try the different shapes on. Ask Jesus, do I like to try those different shapes on, see how they feel, and then complain about it? God, it's feeling really, really tight in this one. I like to try it on, different color. This week I'm going to be orange jello, and next week I'll be raspberry, and different flavor too. Ask them. We like all these little flavors, a little shape. I'm going to be this shape. Because notice, even through the play of consciousness, you've never been the same shape. I played like I was pulling a wagon, and then I got to play jumping out of a plane. Did I like all that or relish all that stuff? Then I get to play I'm married, and then I get to play, Barbie dolls. And then the characters talk to one another. Did I like all that? And he tells you the truth. Okay. Once again, he's right. Okay, Jesus, let's go. Okay, like they say at Living Miracles, tabula rasa. Okay, we're going to go to 0. Like Muji says, beyond 0. So we're taking everything that points to light and just start with light. Because that's the only place in anything in the world's going to make any sense, to see that it's all senseless. Infinite light of being. We just do a check-in. Is the light limited? We find a limit in there. Is time? Does the light have a little watch? Let's see what time it is. A beginning or an end? Check. Light check. Can't find a beginning or an end. You could see how difficult it would be for Jesus to try to write a book on that. I cannot tell you that what you are. It's not describable. I can only help you see how that is denied. The blocks to the awareness of that. Can't even use the word love because love is such a concept. And even awareness of it isn't awareness of it. The way the world uses awareness. So it uses awareness of something. Awareness is what is. It just is. There aren't even good words for it, thankfully. The ego wants to have a handle on something. That's the concrete. You can hear how in the language play. I got to get a handle on it. No, you don't. It doesn't have a handle. Light doesn't have a handle. Doesn't have love handles. So here we go. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. And step 1 is to see, I have no clue about what that is. It's the first. You can ask Jesus. Jesus, the first step in God's plan is for me to admit I have no clue what God's plan is for salvation. No clue. The more clueless we are about God's plan for salvation, the closer we are to God. Yeah, because as soon as we have a clue, we're in the play. We're already in consciousness, playing in words, and then it becomes comparison. This is Jesus's whole point of a new covenant. We're in the play of what the book means rather than being what is. and we're discussing. See, then you've got these little words that come up, and we take that meaning and we compare it to that meaning in the book. And what do you mean, Jesus? He says, just ask me what I mean. It seems simpler. It's more direct. Ask me whether you do indeed believe these things that I'm pointing out to you. Let me show you where you are trying to defy God's law of what you are. I am the way and the truth and the life, as you are the way, the truth, and the life. No difference. So then the only thing that seems to remain is the idea that you're not that. And to deny that the means are already given for you to see what you already are. You act as though the means have been denied you. But see, you can only see that you deny yourself. The play of helplessness when help is always available to you. So I can see I need to ask him, okay, when am I playing helpless? Because I'm so used to playing helpless. So used to playing no to God game. The Monopoly game of no to God. Do not pass go, go directly to jail. And feel like our feet are stuck in jail. That's the play. And thus defy the will of God. See that the light doesn't know bound. It doesn't know what a jail is. It doesn't know freedom. Does it know freedom? We're begging for freedom. The light doesn't even know what freedom is. I want to be free. We have to see where I don't want to be free. That's what he's bringing us to. I don't want to free. So I will accept my part. Okay, my part is to be clueless about what salvation is and be taught everything from ground up with Jesus, ground zero. That's our part. That's humbling. Because I could see all the play of being involved in the plan. I got my plan for salvation. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Okay, today is a day of special dedication. Okay, Jesus, yes. We really have to learn what we're saying yes to. We're so used to saying no. I'm not going. We're light going. I'm just not doing it. I don't want it light. I don't want it. You just have to see every time we say no, we're saying, I don't want to be light while we're already light. That's the humor. Okay, so we take a stand on but one side today. We side with truth and let illusions go. We will not vacillate between the two. So let's just ask Jesus this. So we can hear it's here. We already, you start to know what his answer is going to be already. Jesus. Oh, there's so much love in this though, because you're turning in. See, it's turning into him. And then you get the cuddle. You get the little, oh, right. And then you can laugh. Okay, Jesus, do I desire an experience where I vacillate between truth and illusions? You can hear him too. Yeah. That's relished. Oh, it's relished. So, and you can, this is so helpful to see how it's relished. It's like, so there's a recognition that there's light. And then like Muji says, if you look at the invitation to freedom, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. That invitation to freedom, you can search it. Invitation to Freedom Toolkit. I can't, so unspeakable. So it's really beautiful. And then, there's these seeings, this opening. It is like a camera for our desire for it to be that way, where all of a sudden it's like, wow, there's nothing here. There's no person, there's no body. And then all of a sudden it seems to go away because because consciousness relishes the experience of seeing what it is and then not seeing what it is. That takes you right in there, doesn't it? And Kenmuji says, and then, it'll go, I see it. And you'll see it. The beings like getting it, like getting the happy laughter. And those hilarious videos where beings just go, oh, wait, there's just light here. And they laugh really hard because it's funny. It's funny to see the trick was self-induced, right? And then and now he's showing me, thank you, Jesus, how that vacillation, the veil fell. No, we desire it. It's that play, love the play, relish it. Relish the veil coming and going. Now that is oh boy. Okay. Definitely gets funnier when we stand out of the way. Okay. But to take a firm position with the one, I love that. Muji says, take the position. Stand as you are. That's the vigilance. Stand as you are. Because that play is, I want to jump the train of hell. Vigilance for heaven is stay as you are. As Muji says, stay as light. Oh my gosh, just to love that. And I just relish leaving the light and pretending like I don't know what it is. Go. You just laugh when you see it, when he tells you, yep. That's why this gets funnier and funnier, in the light circles. You just see that play. They're just, he's the master. What can we say? Oh. We dedicate ourselves to truth today and to salvation as God planned it to be. It takes dedication. Oh my God, there's so much love and dedication. Oh my gosh, she's saying, see that the kingdom of heaven stands behind you in this. The kingdom of heaven stands behind you in your dedication. It was really stunning. And we're going to talk about that today in the joining session. So far beyond words. Where he's talking about when you're speaking these words that he's giving you, you are carrying the power of God. That is not compromising. That's why we're getting together to have these circles where we're that's the direct way home. That's why the ego is protesting. It's going to scream. It's going to want to crawl under a bush rather than join those light circles. Except Silencio's. Come here, Silencio. You can sit on the bed. As long as you're on the bed, you can sit up there. They're always a satsang dog, like Rom. You just know. Silencio, sit, baby. It's satsang dog. And he'd say they're coming in. And Muji too. There's a dog at Sahaja, a little black dog, and you're not allowed to talk to it. You let him be in his own satsang. It's just humbling to see that Ramana said that cow is awake. And they're going to be awake before we are, because they just are, they're not looking for something other than what is. It's the beautiful symbols animals are. They're just totally, look at that tail wagging, that thing. We put a mattress in here to watch movies, and like he knows, he just comes in. He's very cute. Satsang dog. Good boy. We dedicate ourselves to truth today, to salvation as God planned it to be. God planned it. Jesus, we can ask him, Jesus, do we relish interfering with God's plan for salvation? When you hear him say, yes, we do. That's the whole gig of consciousness, to interfere with God's plan for salvation. And salvation as God planned it to be. We will not argue it is something else. We will not seek for where it is not. In gladness, we accept it as it is and take the part assigned to us by God. Oh my gosh, we don't. Just ask Jesus. This is hilarious. Okay, just ask him. Jesus, Jesus, do I want to avoid taking my part in assigned to me by God? Do I relish, just absolutely relish, avoiding taking the part assigned to me by God in salvation? We hear the yes. Like, well, you'll see it every fiber of the being. Like, it's a big fat no to taking our part in salvation. It's assigned by God. This is, oh my gosh. He's saying it's really easy, you know, this is so simple. You just relish the no. How happy to be certain. It's the only happiness is certain, because the play of consciousness is doubt. The entirety of consciousness is doubt about identity. You can't be happy until you're certain about your identity, right? And here's consciousness going, I don't know what I am. I don't know what's you know, it's hell on wheels. How true those words are. It's hell on wheels. Okay. It's the moving. All our doubts we lay aside today and take our stand with certainty. Drop them like a hot potato. See, we don't even see how they're hot. They're burning our hands, and we're just, you know, Jesus. This is discussion with Jesus on these things. You'll start to see that play. Jesus, I know this potato is really hot. I mean, I know it. I can see that it's, I can see this potato is really hot, but you know, it's like burning the tar out of our hands, and we're just having a discussion with Jesus. You know, just a little bit longer, I can hold this before I drop it. We accept it as it is and take our part. How happy to be certain. All our doubts we lay aside. It's keeping the doubt thoughts. You see, we relish Jesus. Do I relish doubt thoughts? Do I just like smoke and relish them? All of consciousness is a doubt thought about identity. It's just to obscure it. It's one big fat doubt thought that goes like this into 1,000 billion doubt thoughts. And then we're swimming in a sea of the bees, you know, like how am I, until we admit that, this is why consciously selected. So just see a billion confetti goes like this. And then just going, I know which piece of confetti, you know, to look at. That's why consciously selected miracles does not work. Because you're in the confetti. Can you see how you're in the confetti rather than him going and let me show you the source of the confetti, desire. before it goes like in 1,000 fragments, you just say, let me show you what the desire is for the fragmentation, and just release the energy that makes the experience go to forgiveness. Like it's becomes simple. See how we relish this. We relish taking apart. See that relishing. Ask him, Jesus, do I relish with every part, the part, not taking the part assigned to me by God? Then you start laughing when he shows it to you, and you just admit, okay, I admit it. Honesty of God, I admit it. I relish it. I'm willing to have, can I have a miracle on it? And then he tells you no, because you really want it more than a miracle. He tells you, oh, it's like, Jesus, no, you're not ready. It's like, that's a surprise. You're not ready for a miracle, because he knows that underneath all that, still relishing the big fat no. Okay. How happy to be certain. Oh, take our stand in certainty of purpose. See, that's David's book. Purpose is the only choice. That way we're not gaggling and playing around in the confetti of choice. It's confetti of choice. Choice. I can choose this piece of confetti. That's how the ego gets involved in it. See, it gets involved in, I can choose this little confetti piece and forgive that. When we have the laser beam of specificity and accuracy, statistics, like he was telling Helen and Bill. Why is he talking about statistics? Because he knew that as scientists, they would understand. It's going to go. He's giving us the highest probability of success. We can always be successful, but with all the confetti of doubt thoughts like that, the doubt thought confetti. And then we go, okay, I can, and then we look in the confetti to try to find the certainty. And then we know, okay, I know my plan. If I just follow this confetti to that piece of confetti, and he's going, stay out of the confetti, stay with the light, stay with the whole. Take your position as infinite light and see from there. Don't look at it. When the ego looks at light, the ego feels terror. So if you're feeling terror, you can be 100% sure that you're trying to look at light rather than be light. So Jesus is teaching us how to stay out of the confetti of fragmentation. Take the stand and notice in the light. Does the light have doubt? Infinite light of being. Is there a doubt in there? It doesn't know what a doubt is. It just is. See, and then we can see the contrast. Infinite light, all that is, and then an argument with God to play in confetti, the confetti field. So it doesn't matter how much confetti. See, that doesn't matter. We have a confetti gun and it's blowing out confetti. Let it blow the confetti and just see, is that confetti doing a darn thing to light? No, what consciousness does, it's going to look for more paper to shred. But Jesus, this, I got to find more, I'm too busy to look. I got to find more paper to make confetti with. That is the argument. We have a mighty purpose to fulfill and have been given everything we need with which to reach the goal. See, when we insist we don't, we're playing in confetti. We're inside there going, I don't know what to do. I feel so uncertain. You'll always feel uncertain in the confetti. Ask Jesus, when I'm in that confetti, am I 100% going to feel uncertain? Because you're playing in the fragmentation. You're trying to get certainty from uncertainty and have the cycles and then try to get control. The ego tries to get control, and I can control all the confetti. And if I have more confetti pile over here than they have over there, I can be certain. But it's still in the confetti of doubt. So we just, Jesus, do I like playing in the confetti field of doubt? Oh gosh, it's too funny. Okay. Not one mistake stands in our way, for we have been absolved from errors. So we just look, okay, here's a plethora of confetti, guilt, fear, doubt, suffering, blown out there. And then we just notice the light. Is the light going, oh, I'm terrified by all the guilt and the fear and you just check the light check. Like that light doesn't know anything about that. Now it still seems like because of the plane consciousness other, that the light's not us. The light's not what is. But as the doubt thoughts, the confetti machine of desire for confetti experience, then that's all that remains. I will help you. Ask me to show you where love is denied. And don't play in the confetti. So if you go to him for the miracles, he's going to show you the confetti generating machine. Like, let me show you how to unplug that baby. And then we argue, Jesus, I can't unplug this. I'm going to die, whatever. Whatever the argument is. All our sins are washed away by realizing they were but mistakes. Error of thought, sin, error of thought. It's just an error of thinking. It's the confetti field. Jesus is going to turn those into little sparkles of celebration that light has come. So that when you see that confetti field, it's always pointing back to what's whole and complete. God is in everything I see, rather than grabbing one little piece of confetti and say, oh my gosh, I'm limited because I only have this piece of confetti. It's like, you're the confetti machine. The guiltless have no fear, for they are safe and recognize their safety. They do not appeal to magic, nor invent escapes from fancied threats without reality. Okay, we'll ask. Jesus, do I relish appealing to magic as my salvation? I'm willing to see it. And I ask for a miracle on appealing to magic. See, appealing to fantasies, like we're just wanting those fantasies to be true about this world. Want that confetti. Jesus, do I want that confetti feel? Taste it and touch it and like all the colors and get lost in confetti. The rest and fancied threats. Fancied, see, fancy desire. He's just showing us in a million different ways how we desire threat. Jesus, do I desire an experience of threat? And then you go till he says no. Otherwise, the play of consciousness through that wish underneath, it's gonna, there it is. There it is. And then we go to complain to Jesus. I'm feeling upset, Jesus. And we complain. Spend no time on this. See the desire for it. He's just really getting direct. Spend no time on the story, and then this and that happened. No, it's I see what you're showing me. I see the light, and I see what you're showing me, how the play of consciousness is not serving me. They rest in quiet certainty that they will do what is given them to do. That's relax. That's a relax. That's love, Being able to rest. They do not doubt their own ability because they know their function will be fulfilled completely in the perfect time and place. They took the stand which we will take today, that we may share their certainty and thus increase it by accepting ourselves as God made us. That's accepting God's law. I just said, Jesus, we like making exceptions to God law. Yes. Relished. Ice cream on top, little cherry, bing. He says, even when you know it's not true, in truth. Everything I show you, you already know is true. You're just pretending like you don't know it already. But he understands that we need his help, so we can ask. That's the humility of asking. That's when the truth can take hold. We can call it that. Because the usurper's been given room. They will be with us. All who took the stand we take today will gladly offer us all they have learned and every gain they made. Oh, let's see what this is. We accept the stand, because that's accepting God, accept the true position that God is us. They will be with us, all who took the stand. That's us, standing together, not being willing to stand for the illusion. Will gladly offer us all they had learned and every gain they made. Those still uncertain too will join with us, and barring our uncertainty will make it stronger still. While those as yet unborn will hear the call we heard and answer it when they have come to make their choice again. We do not choose but for ourselves today. That's where the buck stops, to choose purpose. The purpose being to see what's true, our only purpose. We're choosing to see what's true rather than choosing to stay in the illusion. We're choosing to see there's no choice but to be the Son of God, holy, whole, and complete. Is it not worth 5 minutes of your time each hour to be able to accept the happiness that God has given you? Until we can go 24/7 to see what God... But he has to like squeak in like under a door, like a crack under a door, because we got the door barred to God, so he has to come in a little bit so we don't run away in terror because we like the play of terror so much. He says, but see that this is not true, this terror game. To accept the happiness that God has given you. Is it not worth 5 minutes hourly to recognize your special function here? Is not 5 minutes but a small request to make in terms of gaining a reward so great that it has no measure? Let's just ask Jesus, Jesus, is our joy immeasurable? Is our true identity immeasurable? See, the ego has its little yardstick. I'm going to be happier today than tomorrow. No, happiness, what you are, is always full. It's always total. It's always complete. It's just tag you're it and always been it and can't leave it. You have made 1,000 losing bargains at the least. That's what we have to admit. Jesus, can we just admit it that we've made 1,000 losing bargains? He said, you'll be very happy in this when you truly admit it. See, because we sneak around not admitting that the bargains we've made are losing. See, we're playing the Las Vegas crap game of consciousness. But again, you have better chance at the Bellagio than we do. But the crap game of consciousness is keep, seek, and do not find. Seek as though you can find. But it's true. I said, Jesus, we might as well go to the Bellagio and just keep gambling away all of our money, squander it all, because we squandered the house of God away in the play of consciousness. Here is an offer guaranteeing you your full release from pain of every kind. So it's always an offer. Here's our offer, invitation. And then just see in the mind's eye when those words are said, where the heart goes. Sometimes we can feel the tension up our back. That offer doesn't feel good. Then we just look at Jesus. Do I have relish not accepting the offer? If you're not at peace, see that you relish it. It's relished. Release from pain of every kind and joy the world does not contain. You can exchange a little of your time for peace of mind and certainly of purpose with the promise of complete success. See, 100%. Now we're getting back to statistics. 100% probability of success in this. 100%. Because you're already light. It's like too late, 100% done. But Jesus. And I start seeing all, but Jesus, the but behind, and Robin Dane used to say that, and it's so true. Behind every but is a limiting belief. It's good to look at that, where the but Jesuses are. I'm light, but Jesus. It's really adorable too. I bless my brothers at Sahajan, all the ones that would go in satsang. So helpful, because we'd go, I see that I'm light, but Guruji, but see, sometimes it comes and goes, and Jesus is giving us the key to that lock, which is it's a desired experience that it come and go. Jesus, do I relish the coming and going? This is a, man, this is like a slip and slide. You know those slip and slides that when you were, did you have this product? Ronco's new slip and slide. It's a little plastic sheet. Might as well have fun with this. And then you water it down. The leg breaker of consciousness. Before you saw many kids, just ignore that part. And you just, this is the slip and slide to freedom. Seeing the desire for the aperture to open and close, or the recognition of infinite light. That little relish right there. That little relish that we like to have with ice cream. And I think we laughed because we told you about how we're going to, maybe one of the products at the center, I don't know, but it seems pretty funny. And we need some funny. We're going to make jalapeno pepper jelly, which I love jalapeno pepper jelly, and just call it hell relish. Because we love hell, you know, we like that little spicy taste to the point. It's like that little game of hot wings. Have you seen that? That's such a perfect reflection of consciousness. There's this little program, I mean, millions of views of this, where stars sit down and they and they line up hot sauce, you know, and it gets hotter and hotter, you know, 200 billion hot points or something to the last one. And then they tell stories. They take it and it burns the tar out of them. Like they just are crying. They're crying their eyeballs out. And then they try to tell a story. And, you know, and then they complain about how bad it is. If that isn't the perfect play of consciousness right there. And then they dab a little bit more. Ask Jesus if that isn't exactly how consciousness plays. And it gets more and more painful. Just watch Gordon Ramsay and see if you don't laugh your head off. If that isn't the perfect full erection. Yeah, I'm just going to go for a little bit more, you know. I'm going to tell a little story, and then I'm going to try to see if I can survive the next hot sauce, you know. And because, you know, 200,000 points isn't enough. I'm going to get myself up to 1 billion hot hell points over here and play it out all the way. I can make it to the end. I think, Russell, what's his name? Russell, he's married to Katy Perry. Can't remember his last name. Russell Brand. Oh, he's hilarious. He said, this is what he said. He said, I took that hot pepper and I had a spiritual awakening. So we can either, the spirit can use you to use it to wake us up, or we can use it to stay in the story. Either way, you know. Here is the guaranteeing you your full release from pain of every kind and joy the world does not contain. You can change a little of your time for peace of mind and certainly purpose with the promise of complete success, complete success. This is the no failure zone. And that was hilarious. We were looking at that desire to have an experience of feel I can fail at being infinite. It's worth looking at. And since time has no meaning, you're being asked for nothing in return for everything. Okay, that's deep. Thank you, Jesus. That is so deep right there. Let's look at that deeply. You are, see, we want to grudge God time, like 5 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes. I'm not giving that over to Jesus. That's hilarious. You're asked for time, which is nothing. To give up the idea of time, which is nothing. Yet a useful use of time. How he can use time, wake us up to show us that time is nothing. The ego's made it everything. See, time in a body is. If I could save time in a bottle, this is the bottle to trying to save time. Making it a bottle of a body. Here is a bargain that you cannot lose, and what you gain is limitless indeed. Each hour today, give him your tiny gift, but 5 minutes. He will give the words you use in practicing today's idea in deep conviction and the certainty you lack. Man, that's Jesus coming in with the power to show us that we're supported. His words will join with yours and make each repetition of today's idea a total dedication, made in faith as perfect and as sure as he is his in you. His confidence in you will bring the light to all the words you say, aw, and you will go beyond their sound to what they really mean. Jesus, I'm willing to see what these words really mean. They point to God is what they mean, is the only meaning. They point back to infinite. That's how the Spirit would use them for us. Today you practice with him as you say, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. I will be clueless about God's plan, my part. Not even know what it is and let you show me what it is. In each 5 minutes that you spend with him, he will accept your words and give them back to you all bright with faith and confidence, so strong and steady they will light the world with hope and gladness. Do not lose one chance to be glad receiver of his gifts that you may give them to the world today. Give him the words and he will do the rest. He will open you to understand your special function. He will open up the way to happiness and peace, and trust will be his gifts, his answer to your words. He will respond with all his faith and joy and certainty that what you say is true. And you will have conviction then of him who knows the function that you have on earth as well as heaven. He will be with you each practice period you share with him, exchanging every instant of the time you offer him for timelessness and peace. We accept. Throughout the hour, let your time be spent in happy preparation for the next 5 minutes you will spend again with him. Repeat today's idea while you wait for the glad time to come to you again. Repeat it often, and do not forget each time you do so. You have let your mind be ready for the happy time to come. Because the ego would convince us, and you can see that. I can see in the plane. When am I going to be happy? Why am I not joyful? It's not joyful because it desires to hold on to a non-joyful experience rather than just to drop the hot potato. See that joy's always here. It's the only thing that is here. And when the hour goes and he is there once more to spend a little time with you, be thankful and lay down all earthly tasks. all little thoughts and limited ideas and spend a happy time again with him. Okay, Jesus, we're good. 24/7 happy time with you. He says, this is the way. This is the way. Tell him once more that you accept the part that he would have you take and will help you fill, and he will make you sure you want this choice, which he has made with you and you with him. Oh my God, cuddle up. Thank you for cuddling up with us, Jesus, and bringing all these mighties to cuddle up. We're going to cuddle up in that rocket ship, the rocket ship to infinite. It's the holy instant ship. It's the sonship is the one celebrating all that is. So we just say yes. We're seeing what we're saying yes to infinite, the infinite dial pointing up. The Holy Communion with Source. Constant communion. We can never, ever be happy without this daily bread. That reminder of Jesus. We'll put a picture up. You know what it looks like already, but we're joyful to have it, which is a picture of Jesus painted by Dolly in the Last Supper. It's downstairs. And to be reminded of the constancy of what bread we need. You know, what bread is needed. The constancy, just as you eat food until the time that we can drop see that food isn't needed as much as the constancy of that Holy Communion with God. And we can never be happy without the recognition of the Holy Communion with the one who knows. That sounds like the introduction to the communion of song with Lori. Okay. So thank you for this Holy Communion together. And thank you, Lori, for the singing communion that's going to come. Although we're kind of gangled up here, Renee, so we might need some help. Oh, so the lyrics are in Spanish and English, Mary. And so she's going to give them so we can sing along. Yeah, this is quite tangled, Renee. Oh, here we go. Wait, I put it so that I can move it. Okay. There you go. It's all untangled. We're just got untangled. Thank you. Oh, we got some good words coming out. God. Okay. Do I need to put it out in WhatsApp?
Spanish should be there, right, Mary? Did you share the Spanish, Mary?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Yeah. You put it in WhatsApp, okay? I'm trying to, if I can copy it.
I've already got a copy and I can paste it.
Oh, can you put it in the WhatsApp, please?
Yeah.
Spanish?
See what's just happened.
We're getting it over to the Spanish side.
There we go.
Oh, there's copy.
Okay, it's out in WhatsApp.
Good morning, 100% timeless peace and light. This is called God of Joy. A thought of pure joy, a thought of peace, a thought of limitless, limitless as all things are freed within it. I give thanks for this sunrising release. Today is the day of one-way dedication. Dedicate your words to truth and freedom. All that he did before in the name of safety has been surrendered. He is safe and warm and knows it to be so. God of joy, God of pure joy, his voice is heard around the world, and you are the son he loves. The world will end in laughter.
Los, for joining us in this holy light circle and bringing your light. And oh, good to see you all. We send you big hugs. And if you have the spaciousness to bring your light and speak the words of God, the power of God moving through you, then please bring that. We love you. It too.